Hello.
Yo, YouTube, welcome back to another Den Den Boys video. It's Garth.
And Vaughn.
And together we are the Flannelette Boys. No, actually, it's the Den Den Boys. And today we're doing another little retro classic that we got our hands on. We are playing Undeadline for the Sega Mega Drive, or the Genesis, depending on where you are in the world. What you're going to see in this video, like we do always, we're going to do a little bit of a history about the game. We're going to talk about the things, how it plays, if you haven't seen it before, and then we're going to talk about the pros and cons, what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it, and by the end we're going to recommend whether you should play or get yourself a copy of Undeadline. So with that in mind, dude, a bit of history about the game.
Bit of history. So what we know is that it originally was made for the Japanese home computer market in 1989 by T&E Soft. And then 2 years later, they would port it across to the Sega Mega Drive as a Japan exclusive. And this would, squeeze out in 1991. Would be published by PALSoft.
And it hasn't seen the light of day on any other systems too. Like, I mean, it hasn't been, part of the PSN, or as far as I know, this, the Mega Drive was it.
Yeah.
And by a pretty unknown developer too. We don't know, they didn't really turn their hands to much else. Other than Undeadline. So there you go. All right, so let's talk about then how the game plays. I kind of described it to you before we sat down and played it as a mix of Game Ground meets shmup. Is that a fair way of describing it?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah, like in that sort of shmup universe of sort of top-down walking along as a sort of humanoid.
Yeah, like an on-rails kind of. The screen's moving as your character is being pushed up the screen.
Yeah.
Top-down shmup.
Only shoot forwards, no shooting backwards.
Yeah, that's right. True, you can't backtrack. A whole collection of different weapon power-ups. The interest in the gameplay gets changed up by the treasure chest that you find throughout the stages, and it's almost like a bit like almost feels like a bit like a roguelike in that sometimes you'll have a run where you don't quite get you make a mistake, or you're getting flustered by the enemies and you don't quite pick up the power-up that you want.
It can make a big difference as far as the difficulty goes.
You'll pick up a weapon and you'll go, oh, I didn't want that one, and then you're kind of forcing yourself to get through the stage with a weapon you didn't really suit or don't like.
And if you pick the same weapon up a few times, it sort of soups up.
Which you came to like the flame power up, which turns into this huge stream, like a flamethrower coming out of the character, and it seems to roast most of the characters in the game.
Very powerful.
So there's a whole lot of different power-ups in terms of weapons. There's power-ups in terms of getting faster speed. There's shields. Like a force field. There's a whole.
And there's bad power-ups too.
There's bad power-ups.
Take health
so if you've got
off
full power-ups, you'll get like this black potion, and it'll basically bring you back down to your standard character stats. And you're like, oh man, I just got my weapon all powered up and back to zero. So that's a big part of the game. Obviously, there's the shooting. There is also a shield button, which we came to work out about halfway through.
Very important.
Well, maybe not halfway through, but like the second boss, which we were finding very, very difficult to pass through some of his projectiles because they were just bullet hell.
Yeah, and you're quite a large target, but once you're holding that shield up, you can actually absorb
we were like,
bullets.
have you thought about maybe we should use the shield? We haven't touched the shield for the entire game. And once you hold the shield, it will block projectiles. Not everything, but it will block some projectiles.
Bigger bullets,
there's the weapons, there's the shields, there's the actual protection, the shield button, and then there's a whole variety of different. I think there's 6 different levels in the main game before you move on to the last boss.
You
all
can
of which have different
them in the order that you want.
Totally, can pick them in any order, play in any order. Cemeteries, forests, there was castles, all kinds of things. But at its heart, it's an on-rail, top-down shooter with a lot of fun little elements that are thrown in there.
Yeah.
So that's how it plays, dude. Let's talk about what we always do, like pros and cons. Like, what did you had no experience with this game. You kind of had sort of heard about it, but didn't know much about it. Certainly hadn't played it. This is our first time playing it.
Yeah.
What did you like about it?
Yeah, look, I think the presentation is quite superb. The pixel art, the detail, the size of the bosses, the enemy types. It's all varied. It's all colourful. All set to a kicking sort of soundtrack.
It was surprisingly good.
and plays really well. But the size of the bosses can't be understated. They're impressive.
I think I was going to say a special shout out to the bosses. They're quite memorable, and the theme of the game is quite memorable too. Like it's a real gothic kind of ghouls and ghosts /
the undead,
like Day of the Dead kind of zombies and crypts and all that kind of stuff. So the actual theme of the game was really cool. I liked the power-ups, all the different types of weapons you could use. It's no gimme. I enjoyed the difficulty of the game. It's a challenge.
Yeah, a decent challenge.
A very decent challenge. Yeah. And all in all, it's a nice length game as well. Like it was a meaty game to be had.
Levels aren't too long. It doesn't overstay its welcome. They're just right.
Yep. I mean, it's trying to get you. It's an old school retro game. It's trying to beat you, but I never felt like the difficulty was unfair or unbeatable. There was lots to like about it.
Yeah, some good weapons to tackle that difficulty with.
Yeah, especially when we realised we could like boost them, like level them up upon each other. Okay, so that's what we dug. Was there anything you didn't like about the game?
Well, I guess the fact that it's one player only. I mean, it's a small gripe, and I gather for the time it was could only be one player. But if it was two player, it would be twice as good. Like the fun.
It screams two player.
Yeah.
And when I first heard about this game, I'd seen some of the screenshots. It kind of, like I said, has that Game Ground vibe, which is a two-player game. I kind of thought it was going to have that.
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to seeing it. And then later on, through a bit of research, I realised it was a one-player only game. But I can understand that.
Small thing. And I was going to say, maybe the difficulty sort of hits you immediately from level 1. They don't ease you in.
No,
they don't.
That's fair.
And I think some people might find that it's a turn off to be sort of hit immediately so hard, but I would say persevere, because once you get beyond that, the game opens up, and the challenge is great.
Yeah, and they've mixed a lot of elements too. There's some shmup elements that are like very stock standard from the genre, but they've tried to add their own little touch on it as a little bit.
Yeah.
Finally got the words out. Okay, so there you go. I honestly didn't find anything in the game that really turned me off. I thought it was, a lot of it was really, really good. I enjoyed my time with it. So, with that said, should people be racing out and playing Undeadline? Should you get your hands on a copy? Now, I should say it's a really expensive game to own physically.
Copies, yeah.
It's eBay can go to $400 to $500. I know Limited Run Games is doing a re-release or a physical release of the game. But what would you recommend it to people to go and play?
Look, I would. I was, I consider myself a Mega Drive expert, and I wasn't familiar with this one. And I think it's a great title. Probably a hidden gem.
It really is a hidden gem.
It's accessible, and I think if you think you're a Mega Drive expert and haven't played it, you're missing out. I think if you can sort of track this one down, I wouldn't necessarily say spend $500 on it, but there are alternative methods, and as Garth mentioned, Limited Run Games are doing a physical re-release.
Jump on now if you're going to get that, because it'll probably go pretty quickly. But yeah, look, I'm a thumbs up. I love the game. I thought it was a really fantastic example of that sort of genre, that top-down, shmup, a bit of ninja spirit and all that sort of. It was really good. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed the difficulty. I enjoyed the length. I enjoyed the fact that it was a real hidden gem, and one that I hadn't heard of before and had to track down to get my hands on, and I'm glad we played it. So for me, total thumbs up. I recommended it. Go out and give it a crack.
Yeah, Undeadline.
Undeadline for the Sega Mega Drive or the Genesis in 1991 release, Japan only. There you go. Thanks again for doing all that great YouTube stuff. We appreciate you checking out the channel. Likes, share, subscribe. We are almost at 1,000. That's always been the goal, and help us get there if you can. That'd be fantastic. We appreciate you. And until next time, peace.
Yes.